guys. Hey, Seattle John and Bora Urgel. Can you tell me how the audio is? There's some background music and then my voice. Can you hear the background music? Hey, Riazali. Okay, sounds good, Seattle John. So I have a new look in OBS. Seattle John, do you think that hum might be an air conditioner? It's gonna turn off in a minute. Hopefully that's what it is. So I've got a new look in OBS, and there's a map, there's a stream underneath me, and those are coming from the new stat page. So every single time anything happens on Tangle Social, almost anything, it's going to show up in that stream. And there's a 1 or 2 minute delay between you doing something and it showing up. But it's very cool. And you can see on the stream right now that I tagged all my subscribers for this post. Now I'm going to have to figure out how to time that better so that everyone gets tagged, but I'm not spamming the post when I go live. Getting better every day. Then on the map, every time something happens, there's a flare that appears in the country that the user's in. And that's not totally precise. Not even close to totally precise. It's getting a little more precise as the day goes on, but we're not trying to be very precise in any case. We just want to give a general idea of where people are and how busy the site is. Now on the right-hand side of OBS, I've got from Fiat Leak, I've got the price of Rapmilix and all the most recent trades. Now this is a bit of an unfortunate timing. You can see that the trades on there are 3 hours old. And that is because P2B is doing site maintenance. There's nothing I can do about that. Thanks, P2B. So I think I mentioned, well, I know I mentioned in a post yesterday, I'm going to start doing these live streams as consistently as I can. 1400 UTC every day. It's just pushing myself to be more consistent, and so don't have high expectations. It's just going to be hangout sessions. I never know what I'm going to say. I don't prepare for these. So I'll just be online hanging out. Maybe I'll be online for 10 minutes, maybe an hour. Kind of depends on the rest of the schedule. But that's my plan. I wanted to mention, I don't know how to set this up. I heard something interesting that Mr. Beast said yesterday. I heard it yesterday. He didn't say it yesterday, but that's when I heard it. And it got me thinking about, well, here's the clickbait headline. Would I sell Tangled? And if I did, how much would I sell it for? Okay, there's the setup. There's the big headline. So Mr. Beast said that he has a really hard time finding sponsors for his videos. Let's just assume for this conversation that he's the biggest YouTuber on the planet. I don't know if that's true, but let's assume that he is. So when he posts a video, it gets 200 million views. And if somebody wants to sponsor a video, they have to pay a rate proportionate to how many views he gets. And as he said, he gets more views than the Super Bowl. Every video. He's got 400 million subscribers across all platforms. So when you take the number of views that he gets by kind of a reasonable rate that an advertiser would be asked to pay to sponsor a video like that, the number of companies that can afford it keeps getting smaller and smaller. And it's at the point now, he said, where if a company, essentially no matter how big it is, if they want to sponsor one of their videos, one of his videos, it may cost them half of their marketing budget for the year. Okay? So that's the situation that Mr. Beast is in. And his response to that is to create his own brands. Instead of doing shout outs for Pepsi, he launches his own product and does that as a promotion because there doesn't have to be a budget for that. It's free for him to do, and it makes his businesses grow huge. Okay? The point of that is that reach is greater than sponsorships. And that's a conversation I had. You know, I mentioned before that that there are conversations happening with top athletes. And eventually those conversations will start to include top content creators. But in the case of an athlete, a golfer in this case, they all want to be sponsored by global brands. They get a logo on their shirt, they get a logo on their hat, they get $5 million, and they live their life. And I had a conversation with the golfer that I've been talking to about a studio deal. And I said, give me the top 3 sponsors that you'd want as a PGA Tour professional golfer. And the answers are predictable. Give me Nike, give me Mercedes-Benz, and give me Rolex. Those are my sponsors. Now, in the conversation that I have with this gentleman, I also have conversations with his parents because he's a younger kid. And I posed the same question to them. What sponsors would you like to see on the shirt, on the hat? And they all give the same answer, and I say, you're wrong. That's the wrong answer. You don't want a sponsorship from Mercedes-Benz or Rolex or Nike. There's no greater sponsorship for somebody like that than Tangled. And I say that in a general way, but you could say Instagram, YouTube. Imagine if you could, if instead of worrying about being sponsored by Nike, if you were sponsored by YouTube, and every single time you uploaded a video, you bypassed the algorithm, and your video was recommended to everyone on the platform. I mean, that's basically the world that Mr. Beast is living in. You know, 200 million views per video. As a result of that, he can shout out anything he wants. If Nike wants to pay him $10 million to do a shout out in one video, do that. Take the $10 million, give Nike a shout out. It's not a contract, it's not an obligation. Being sponsored by social media is the apex predator of sponsorships. So, to bring all that around full circle, in one of these conversations, I mentioned, I asked the question, should I sell Tangled.com to Mr. Beast for $1? $1. He can have the whole thing. Now, he can have all of Tangled.com, and there would be 400 million new users the next week. But we keep all the Millix. What do you think happens to the market cap of Millix when Tangled.com has 400 million users? Orbit is what happens. Moon. Okay? So that was a conversation that I had, a fun thought experiment, selling Tangle.com for $1. I might, to Mr. Beast. Looks like I'm still tagging subscribers. Aerosol just made it home from somewhere. He's in the chat. What else can I say? Looks like the trades have started. P2B plugged their servers back in, so trading has resumed. I'm going to show you guys something about P2B. And this will give me a chance to try out a different view in OBS. Okay, check this out. You guys see that? Hey, it's Hattie Hats. Thanks for joining, Hattie Hats. I'm going to check out your new article as soon as it comes out. And I love the last article about Tangled. You do a great job of that. I read the whole thing. And I also love Ericsson having to interact with the media, with journalists. Okay, so what I have on my screen here, now you guys know that Rapmilix operates on ERC20. All right, it's on the Ethereum network. Now, as a result of that, it's public information about the transactions for Rapmilix. Well, what I'm looking at here, so this is Etherscan. This is a blockchain explorer for the Ethereum network. And this is filtered to show Rapmilix that has been minted. Okay? So this is, I mean, you can assume, I assume, that when somebody mints Rapmilix, it's headed to P2B. Okay? I don't know that for sure, but I assume that. So when I see somebody mint some Rapmilix, like yesterday it was 35,000, I expect that that's headed over to P2B. And I don't know what's going to happen once it gets there, but that's a tool that traders can use. You can, I'll put a link to this report in a post later on. And then you guys can monitor kind of what's happening with minting and possibly with burning Rapmilix. I haven't seen a filter for that yet, but it might exist. Okay. So on what I wanted to mention on P2B is I've gotten messages from Tangled users, like if the price isn't what they want or if the timing of moves isn't what they want, I get a message. And I don't do anything about it. I stay out of the way of that market. It's going to find its own price. I can't defend a price. I can't say, well, the price is going to be 20 cents, and anybody who wants to sell for less than that, I'll buy it. I'm not going to do that. So I stay out of the way. Now, I do buy on P2B every day. In fact, all through the day. I've had to learn kind of how to do that without disrupting the market, without wiping out a bunch of asks and skyrocketing the price with no support below it. And I think I've got a good methodology for doing that now. And so I buy Rapmilix every day, all throughout the day on P2B, to make sure that all the Milix that's being introduced into circulation on Tangle.com is bought by me. So I own it before I give it away on Tangle.com. So that's what you can expect from me on P2B. Now I'll also mention so this month, October, I was accumulating on P2B. And I'll try to give updates on this kind of once a month so you guys know what I'm doing. So in October, I accumulated about 55,000 Rapmilix on P2B. I soaked it up. I took it off the market. I might not do that next month. I might not do that the rest of this month. But everyone on P2B, since it's an open market, is acting in their own best interest. And if I think something's in my best interest, and I think that's buying up some supply, then that's what I'll do. And so I did that in October. Okay, I'll try to keep you guys up to date on that, just so that there's some transparency. Now that reminds me, on the stat page that we launched today, we're going to add some more data to that. And a lot of the data that we add there, I hope can be used by traders to inform their decisions. So on the last live stream, I show, hey Octo, I'll mention you in a second. On the last live stream, I showed the Tangle.com P&L, the profit and loss, how much is spent, and how much is received from the community. It was self-reported, what was it? Octo, what was it? A self-reported audit. So I think we'll show that on the stat page. I think that'll be cool. I think that'll help you know how much Milix is entering into the circulation and how much is being pulled out. You could get a sense for that from the stats, but you'd have to watch it pretty close a long time to get any sort of sense of that, and we can just give you the number. I'll also mention that on that stats page, it shows you, so I've had mine open for 28 minutes. So that's how long my session has been on stats. And the report says that 4.2 million Milix has transacted in that amount of time. Now, I don't want you guys to think that that's how much is being put into circulation. It's nothing even close to that. That 4.2 million, that's a lot of that is going back and forth from user to user. One user gives another user a tip, it shows up in that number. Or if somebody makes a premium post and spends 100,000 Milix to do that, even though that's coming out of circulation, it's still showing up on that number. So I wouldn't use that number for that. I would only refer to that number as kind of how it's the velocity, the money velocity is what it is. It's the money velocity. How fast money is changing hands. Okay? Anything else interesting about that? How's the volume? I'm just going to say, if there's going to be dead air, if I'm just going to sit here for a minute or two and do something on camera, that doesn't bother me at all. That's what the background music is for. All right? Nico Diego, get your popcorn ready because it's time for Hump Day and Chill, 16th edition. Films about AI or robots. Okay, let's see what's in here. I did comment on this one. I commented with the Johnny Depp movie Transcendence from 2014. And I watched that movie a couple times. I won't spoil anything, but and I am not good at doing what I'm about to say that I did. I'm not good at it at all. But I had a epiphany about the story, that story is actually, for me, the Adam and Eve story in the Garden of Eden. She ruined it. She ruined it. Things were going so well. Okay, Lucy 2014, I haven't seen that. What's that movie? Deus Machina? Is that it? Oh, Ex Machina. Yeah, Ex Machina. That's a cool robot AI movie. Like a lot of movies, you have to know when to stop. Like if you watch Scarface, the movie Scarface with Al What's his name? It's not Al Capone. Whatever. Scarface. As soon as you see the hot air balloon blimp flying over Miami that says the world is yours, the world is mine, that's when the movie's over. It goes downhill from there. You do that on Wall Street, that movie. You do it on The Godfather Part 3. You got to know when to hit stop. And you got to hit stop at some point in Ex Machina. King 555. Chappie. Haven't heard of it, haven't seen it. RoboCop by New Adobe Foundation. That is, I think, one of the favorite movies of Lil Hooligan, who is Al Pacino. Thank you, Joseph Doyle. Al Pacino. You know, I told you guys, when the camera turns on and the lights are shining bright, you lose all sense of yourself. I can't remember a thing. Lil Hooligan notified us. He said he won't be attending this live stream. Now, this is a scary Halloween story, what I'm about to tell you. I think that Lil Hooligan is babysitting his niece. That is cause for concern. Okay? The Matrix. Oh, is that AI? Is that robots? Great movie. Groundbreaking movie. By the Wachowskis. One of the Wachowskis changed his name. They don't mention that here. Terminator. Is that AI? It's robot, for sure. Terminator 2 is the one that I prefer. And I love the Guns N' Roses song in that soundtrack. You Could Be Mine. Nemesis, have not heard of, have not seen. That is create account. Adrian's got iRobot. I have heard of it. I don't know if I've seen it. 2004. Takes place in Chicago, circa 2035. I don't know. Metal Pack, Wall-E. Heard of it, haven't seen it. And good job by Metal Pack. She provided a description in her native language of German. Octo, Ghost in the Shell. How can I not have heard of all these top recommendations, including the one by Octo, telling the story of Major Mira Killian, a human saved from a terrible crash who's cyber enhanced. You know, there's a good series of books that I don't think has enough attention. It's called the Brilliant series. That is a cool story. Trilogy. Cool story. The short version of that is in around 1980, a very small number of humans started to be born with extraordinary gifts. And as that generation of gifted, they're called the gifted, as they enter society as adults, it's kind of an unfair advantage for everybody else. And there becomes a polarization and kind of a civil war between this extremely small number of gifted people and everyone else. Great story. I love stories where the author has the courage to not just tease you that something bad might happen, like the White House getting struck by a missile. They actually show it and tell you about it. He does. There we go. Transcendence by someone. His wife ruins everything. Robert says automata. Spanish Bulgarian science fiction. Haven't heard it. Haven't seen it. Antonio Banderas. Melanie Griffith. Dylan McDermott. I think Dylan McDermott dated my ex-wife before she was my wife. I'm not going to watch that movie. Muhsin Ayab, Pacific Rim. I think I saw that. I think Sandra had me see that. Maybe. There's another movie kind of like that. It's naval, like Battleship maybe. I can't tell them apart. Nadim Hussein, Real Steel 2011. Haven't heard of it, haven't seen it. Moonmoji, I Am Mother. Same thing. The chat is talking about Gits. Is that anime? Nadir Khan, Hindi language. Haven't seen it, haven't heard of it. From Bollywood, I suppose. Hope I didn't offend anyone by getting that wrong. Saqib Hussein, Meg 2 The Trench. One of the best movies I've ever seen. Everyone will love this. Best scenes and story. Now, Saqib says that everyone's going to love it. And then there's a picture of a person on a jet ski about to get swallowed by a megalodon. Sandra is not going to like that. Sandra says, she's watching the stream right now, by the way, in the kitchen. She says that when she comes to power, her very first order that she will issue to her lieutenants will be to kill all the sharks. All. Kill. Now, as a politician, At Sandra does not talk around the issue. She just wants them all dead. Ex Machina, 50 minutes ago, Bora Urgel, you and I are on the same page. We are in syntonia. We are in harmony. Ex Machina, a young programmer is selected to participate in a groundbreaking experiment in synthetic intelligence by evaluating the human qualities of a highly advanced humanoid who looks like a super hot chick. That's the real story. Now, there's a scene in that movie. It's one of the favorite things I like to see in a movie. There's a couple movies where this has happened. This young programmer is being flown to the owner of this tech company. The owner of the tech company is doing these experiments at his house, his ranch, his estate. And the programmer is being flown on a helicopter to the house, and he asked the pilot, how long until we get to the house? And the pilot says something like, we'll be there in a half hour, but we've been flying over his land for the past 45 minutes. That's what I want. That's what I want. Hearst Castle, that's like that. Okay, G/challenge. Now, I am operating this live stream today without the assistance of producer Danny. He is jet setting around the world with his lovely wife, and he is not offering any help today. I think that this is his group. I think he's going to get 10,000 milliks from me. Here we go. What is your favorite exercise to maintain good health? You know, this comment section is going to be filled with lies. Their favorite exercise to maintain good health is 16-ounce curls. 1 liter curls, 1 pint curls. I don't know. It depends on what country you're in. Drinking beer. Let's see what they lie about. Yes, cycling provides a variety of health benefits. That is copy-paste. Swimming. Hiking. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Adrian actually does do hiking. I wouldn't be surprised. I think there's some really good hills in Venezuela. New Adobe Foundation says fencing. You really think that they're doing that? I promise, you know, I have not seen these comments because you saw me unlock the post, but I knew what was in front of me. Lies. Damn dirty lies. Shafaiullah, routine walking or running. I believe that that's possible. They do that. Riaz Ali has copy and pasted something from the COVID era. King555 has an animated GIF of him doing infinity push-ups. Rajni says stair climbing. Let me check this post again. Did it say, what is your favorite exercise? Yeah, that's what I thought it said. Jumping exercises. Pull-ups. Bicep curls. I don't think that bicep curls are a great way to maintain health. Those are glamour. That's a glamour workout. I'm guilty of it, but that's what it is. Bridge. I don't know if that's actually a bridge. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's not a bridge. Yoga. Akil joke yo. Maybe Akil does yoga. SJHW, did I just call you out? Tell us the truth. Bora Ergel says walking at home. Now, we've seen him do that. He does that. There's a video proving him doing that. The video was sped up 10x, but he was doing it. Okay, SJHW, well, let's go. Swimming, I think it was. SJHW is watching this live stream and engaging in the chat from the community center swimming pool with a waterproof iPhone. Cheers. What else is going on? There I am. GAC26 is still at it. Now, GAC26, I did an entire video about the content that he posts. I did that probably in February or March, because he posts some outrageous stuff. Yeah, it's fair to say. And I did a video with me reacting to everything, every post that he made, everything that he said, and I gave kind of my my approach to how to react to content like that. Now, a few weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, GAC was upset. He's upset because people post a picture of a cat chasing its tail, and it gets a lot of engagement. And then when he posts breaking news for all of us to learn from, nothing, no reactions. He got frustrated about that. Now, I only say that because in the last few days, he's kind of been dipping his toe into the chat chasing its tail content pool. Okay? And he's getting engagement by doing it. So maybe, how many subscribers does GAC26 have? 118. They're all thrilled. They're thrilled with the content from GAC26. Name this artist and album title? Are you joking me? It's Peter Gabriel. Let me check that. Peter Gabriel, Us. It looks like the album cover for that, but it looks backwards. But you heard it here first. If I got that right, I won't comment. But if it's right, it's Peter Gabriel, Us. Blake says Facebook sucks, and that is a hot take because it is on the hot list. Now, I was excited to see this. You might wonder why. So this is new user Stelligans. 14 days ago, 3 posts, 11 subscribers. Okay? Why was I excited to see this? I'll tell you why. Because this is a video, a TikTok video, and the name of the TikTok channel is Stell with Class 1 Cosmetics. So that gives me a sense that it's the same person. So this is their TikTok account, which they could verify that, but I'm guessing that. So I went over to TikTok, I looked at this account. She has 20,000 followers. That's why I was excited. I knew it because these product review category and female products in particular, cosmetics and makeup, those things do really well. So if you see me supporting content creators on Tangled because they show you how to put eyeliner on, that's why. Everything you see me do on Tangled is not what you think it is. There's a hot take. Riazali. I didn't understand this. Let me take a closer look. It's nothing. It's the results. Good. I don't have to do any work. There we go. Is Hattie Hat still with us? No. He says he's got to run. This was him announcing it's a thoughtful decision to shift his primary blogging platform to Bulb. Let's see the link for that. What is that? Bulbapp.io. Haven't heard of it. Now, I don't mind if his primary blogging platform is Bulb, as long as he keeps posting content to Tangled. You know why? Because I know that given enough time, he's going to earn more on Tangled than he will anywhere else. And if he doesn't believe me, I'll prove it. Oh boy, Azai Dane. He listened to I watched this video because he says, oh yeah, there's a planned, they're preparing for World War III. And then I watched the video and Joe Biden accidentally said third world when I think he was talking about Latin America, and he said third world. He wasn't talking about the Third World War. G/AI Artists, run by Seattle John. Earn activity. Let's check it out. Oh, you know what? I think this is a recap because each one of these is a link to a different post. So he's hitting the refresh button on an activity that he announced a while ago, I think. Oh, and I made a comment. I'm like, because G/AI Artists is saying, well, you gotta get a profile picture for yourself themed for Halloween. But they didn't do that. They had Albert Einstein, but they've corrected that. You can't see that, can you? There you go. There is Spooky Stein, Albert Spooky Stein. E = MC scared. I can do stuff like that all day long. So can Danny. New feature. Let me check the stream here. Aerosol is engaging, reacting to Fayaz Beg, their post. Octo's engaging. He's laughing at Marvel Studios. Now, there's a star gave G/MILF a like. Now, normally you could accuse me of being star, but you know, I mean, you see what I'm looking at, so it wasn't me this time. And no one will ever know. That's what the stars, they're blanking out the name of the enthusiast. Now we still have to block out. I think that group names, adult group names, are still showing up in plain text. We got to block that out. There's some more enthusiasm for a post by Hot Lutz. I don't know if that's a typo, that username. They could be missing a letter there. Biz80 is engaging with Enrique. Aerosol is engaging with me. New user, welcome Hajara Ayua. I'm going to add that to the count of new subscribers. There have been 16 new subscribers in the last 51 minutes. And they subscribed to Enrique. You know what that means? They came in on his affiliate link. I'm giving you guys a look behind the curtains. That's what that means. Okay? Now, when I say stuff like this, my team isn't always happy with me. I'm rogue. I can't be controlled. They said, somebody in particular said, that if I showed you that report of Etherscan, that ERC20 blockchain explorer, that it would introduce chaos. Call me the Joker. Now, speaking of the Joker, this is a legitimate concern that I have. This is very concerning. I am concerned. So, for months and months and months, there has been a vigorous debate and speculation about the true identity of the Joker and Batman and possibly others. Well, now on the stat page, if Batman clicks the like button, you might get an idea of where that happened. Now, it's no big deal if it happens in the US or it happens in, Russia or a big country, Canada, I don't know. But if it happened on a small island nation, that could be revealing. That's a concern of mine. Bora Ergel says that he wants @Hattie Hats to switch to On the Node. Yeah, what? That's a great. Does he publish on the Node? He knows about it because he mentioned it in his last article about the Tangled ecosystem. Yes, and @Rajni, we have seen him do stair climbing in his house. We have seen that. There's documentation of that. I see. Sorry, guys. I wasn't keeping track of the chat on Tangled. So Joseph Doyle is in the chat on Tangled. I guess he moved over to YouTube when I was ignoring him. SJHW is in there. Bora Ergel, Aerosol is in there. And 23 minutes ago, I was well notified by SJHW about Al Pacino. I gotta do better. What else? Is there anything else interesting in here? Well, here, of course there is. Bora Ergel. New activity. Is this a new activity, Bora? Promote yourself in the chat. Here are my hashtag collectibles. Guys, I think I may know who Batman is. Octo, he says he's Batman. SJHW is accusing Bora Ergel of being Batman. I may know who it is, which I would never say. I've never even told @Sandra. And she made a big fuss about it. She said, we have to tell each other everything. And I said, and this is true, sometimes it's a man's job to lie to the woman. Now, I learned that. That's a lesson that I learned from watching The Godfather. And that's true. It's a man's responsibility. So I may know who Batman is, and I would never say who he is. But mainly it means I know who he isn't. I know who he's not. Okay, Bora Ergel. Here are my hashtag collectibles, or some of them. Don't forget to join the activity, which is a separate post. He is showing us his collection of Magic the Gathering cards, which are popular around the world, and some are very rare and can cost more than $1,000. Bora Urgel. Did Post Malone buy a Magic the Gathering card for $2 million? Or was that it was a one of one, but it might not have been Magic the Gathering. He started collecting in early 2000s. Now you can play it online. The coolest thing, I've never played Magic the Gathering. The coolest thing about Magic the Gathering is the name of the company that owns Magic the Gathering. The name of that company is Wizards of the Coast. Doesn't that just sound fantastic? Love that. All right, let me click on this link. Let me see. Join the activity. Now, I think I said in my Ask Me Anything when Tantelli featured me in the AMA, he asked me if I collect anything, and I said no, I don't. I don't collect anything. I'd be a more interesting person if I did. Share the things you collect with #collectibles. Bora loves to collect old coins in Magic the Gathering and also old tech. I do have some old tech, but I don't really, not a lot. Take a selfie or record a video. Advanced activity with your collectibles. Make a new post with #collectibles and tell us why do you collect. And then comment done. Okay, who's done it? Rusalizi. She says done. Well, Aerosol, he says, oh yeah, what do I choose? Yeah, his knife collection. Okay, yeah, so he's saying he is such a prolific collector that it's going to be a long video. If that's what it takes, Aerosol, that's what it takes. Show us what you got. Danny says this is going to be fun, and then he hops a flight to Italy. He's out. Octo, he's got collections. Help me decide between vinyls, watches, coins, cameras. It's cameras. It's got to be the cameras. I would say cameras. I never got into vinyls. I did buy one vinyl. But I didn't buy it because I cared. I was an exchange student to Russia, to the Soviet Union actually. I was the first exchange student there in 1989, spring, April. And when we were there, we started doing like bartering. We're trading gum and jeans for Russian flags and military hats. Somebody figured out that there's a Beatles vinyl album that was only released in the Soviet Union and nowhere else, and that it was valuable, supposedly. So I bought 2 of them and brought them home, took them down to the record store, and sure enough, I sold them for $300 each. Can you believe that? That's the only vinyl I've ever had. Watches I have never gotten into. But, Octo, there are 2 watches that have influenced the design of Tangled. Because some watches are just striking to me. They're just stunning. The default page on the Tangled browser, when you open a new tab, it used to be a combination of kind of coffee brown and a bluish teal. I chose, Danny hated it. In fact, everybody hated it. But I chose those colors because those are the colors of a Rolex Daytona Platinum. And I think they look fantastic. Now, just last week, while we're working on the stat page that we just launched today, Crank he was doing the development work, and it looked like it was done by an engineer. And I'm like, well, where's the party on this page? We gotta have some fun. We need some colors. And I said, you're going to hate what I show you next, but it's the inspiration for what we're going to do. And I showed him a picture of the Rolex Daytona Rainbow, which is a vibrant, very vibrant watch. And that's what it looks like. The top numbers, they look like the Rolex Daytona Rainbow. So there you go, Octo. I express my watch collection with software. What's new? What's new? Aerosol, why are you asking Octo if he's a Taurus? Because whatever stereotype you're about to assign to Octo for being a Taurus would also apply to me. Tread lightly. Where's the moderation button on chat? Tauruses are known for collecting stuff. Exhibit A. Aerosol. Enrique. That's a promoted post. We've seen that. How many times? We've seen that 1,200 times. Aerosol's a Taurus. Aerosol's a Taurus. Breaking news. We are going to have a Tangled birthday app soonish, and I guess that'll cause people to make a bunch of posts with candles and cake. It might also cause a mad rush of sales in the marketplace for astrological sign badges, which are extremely expensive. I think that badges show up. If somebody buys a badge, I think it shows up in the stream. So if somebody bought an astrological badge, like if Aerosol bought a Taurus badge right now, I think the transacted Millix would go from 6.8 million to 26.8 million in a blink of an eye. Okay, there's a selfie by Albert. Looking good. Home workout by Dumble. According to numerous studies, intermittent fasting is the most efficient weight loss method. That might be true. I do intermittent fasting. I stop eating at 6 p.m. and I don't have my next meal until noon. So that's an 18-hour fast. Now, I started out doing that intentionally, but at this point, that's just what I do. I don't even notice. There's no effort, none. The most efficient weight loss method is actually eating less carbs. Yo guys, I'm user number 20,000 that came in from TimeWall. Victory Wealth is posting premium images. Zeri1006 was this hedge caught his eye. Or maybe it was the air conditioning units. You know, there is a skill, I think it's called geolocating. You see these videos on YouTube where somebody is given a picture like this, but way more difficult, and they have to figure out where precisely the picture was taken. And if you watch those videos, those guys are out of their minds. They would look at this picture and they would consider the type of concrete that was used to form those blocks on the sidewalk and have an idea of what quarry they come from. Okay? That is autism to 11. Those guys are amazing. Bulgaria. Good morning, Tangled family and friends. Be blessed and safe. Love at SJHW. He's got a treasure hunter badge, and I haven't done a treasure hunt for a long time. I should give that I should give that group to somebody who would commit to doing a lot of treasure hunts. Could be SJHW. Could also be Bora Urgel. Could also be Rajni. Who else has one of those badges? Nerone? One of those two might. Here's GIAC26 spreading goodwill through Tangle.com. Vina Maulida, hailing from Indonesia. They say it's good talent. Hashtag fun, hashtag video, hashtag tangled. It might be good fun, but it's not exciting. America is the most racist country in the world, according to GIAC26. Indonesia loves Palestine. That might be true because Choi said the same thing. And he is a delegate for the Indonesian street team. GIAC. There's Bill Gates, and he's a farmer. In fact, he might be the largest single private farmer in the U.S. GIAC. Hattie hats. GIAC. He's spending $10,000 every single time, so he's spending it. You cannot break a person who gets their strength from memes. All right, guys, that's a good hangout session. That is how long was that? It's about an hour. All right, so I will do this again tomorrow at UTC 1400. And thank you all you guys for joining and hanging out in the chat and keeping things interesting. And I will talk to you guys later.